Oh, that ain't good. Hello random people, welcome to Random Garage, the channel where we're always doing something. Today on Random Garage, we'll be replacing the oil pan on a 2020 Harley Road King. It is dripping there at the drain plug because the threads have cracked. And when I get it off, then we'll take a look at it and I'll thoroughly explain why they crack, how easy it is to crack them. So the oil pan comes out pretty easy. Once you take the bolts out of it, it just slides out the back. The trouble is the wheel and the exhaust is in the way. So the crossover tube is in the way. So I'm going to take it loose where it comes out of the right side exhaust and comes across. I'll take it there to get the whole slip-on assembly off from the left side. Of course, the right slip-on has to come off just as part of the process of removing the rear wheel. There's lots of videos out there on tire change or removing the wheel or whatever on these touring bikes, so I'm not going to cover that in detail, but just in short, it's take the caliper off at these two bolts to get that out of the way. Like I said, get the exhaust off, get the lower belt cover off here, and then pull the axle out, push the wheel forward, get the belt off, and drop the wheel down and out. One thing I do want to cover though is the little trick to getting slip-ons off. Sometimes they're pretty stuck, but got all the port bolts loose, took off the heat shield here, got the exhaust clamp loose and pushed back, and then shot some good lubrication all in there, kind of in the splits, trying to get it into the joint. Then I'm going to grab the end of the slip-on and work it up and down and side to side in different directions. And as you do that, it spreads the split open a little bit. And then as you're working it and pulling on it, then it comes off fairly easy. Okay, now that I've got the wheel off, just got to take out these two screws to get this exhaust crossover mount bracket out of the way. Otherwise the pan here is not going to come out. Now it's just a matter of removing the 12 bolts that hold the pan in place, which is going to require two jacks because my jack is in the way of this bolt and the one on the opposite side. And I'll put another jack under there just to hold it and then go back to this one. Just get those screws out, a little back and forth. So it wasn't even stuck. As soon as I took the last bolt out, it just fell right down because there's not that many miles on the bike. You got to remove your oil dipstick, otherwise it's sticking down into the pan and it interferes so that you can't slide it out. See? The gasket, of course, is going to be stuck up under the engine, but if you're careful, just start at the corner with a blade here and sliding it along, and I'm gonna just go all the way around and hopefully it all comes off in one piece nice and clean. Now these darn pans, when they crack right here where the wall is really thin. When I saw the bike dripping, I knew exactly what to look for, and from the outside I could see a little crack right there. Let's see if it shows up on camera, but there's pretty easy to see on the inside right there where it's cracks through the threads. And you just cannot get it to stop dripping oil when that happens. I did this unfortunately on my 2018 Road Glide too, so when I saw it here on the Road King, I knew exactly what had happened. This wall thickness here measures, well, not including the thread, 0.115 inch. So less than 1/8 of an inch. And that's for a 1/2 inch plug. Standard engineering practice is to put a hole no less than 1 radius of the hole size from the edge of a part. So this wall thickness should be at least 1/4 inch for the 1/2 inch hole, but it's not. It's over there. It's less than 1/8 of an inch. And these new M8 touring bikes are the only bikes that I've seen this problem on. The M8 Softails have the drain plug on the other end, and is closer to the middle, so it doesn't have this thin wall issue. And of course, twin cams were in an entirely different place too, where there was lots of meat in the casting and you would never crack the threads like that. The service manual says 14 to 20 foot-pounds. I always use a torque wrench and I follow the service manual. However, after posting this question on a Harley tech page on Facebook, somebody suggested that that torque spec in the service manual is for dry threads. Of course, when the threads are lubricated, it requires less torque to get the bolt or plug or whatever tight where it's supposed to be. So that's a big mistake on Harley's part in a service manual where you know the threads are going to be oily, that they included like a dry factory assembly torque spec in there. It's just asinine. So now finally I figured out why it cracks, because of the erroneous service manual. And from now on, I'm gonna do like a lot of people do. I'll just use my stubby wrench and just snug it up to where I'm comfortable. And if it drips, snug it up a little more. This problem is so common, in fact, that I've had even people responded on Facebook that the tech department had cracked oil pans. And now that I've done it twice, I was looking, I didn't want to pay $200 for a brand new one. So I looked on eBay and I found what I believed was 2 good used ones. So, or the lowest price ones I could find. I ordered them both on the off chance that one of them would be cracked. And sure enough, they both came on the same day from different directions in the country. And one was cracked, even though the listing did not say that there was anything wrong with it. It said it was a lightly used part. But the other one is really in good shape, almost looks brand new. So that's the one I'll be installing, obviously. Okay, so here's the replacement oil pan and brand new gasket, of course. Painted it orange because I had time to kill and cool bike stuff. So on installation, the screws that hold the oil pan in place are going to get like blue medium strength Loctite, and they get torqued to between 132 and 156 inch-pounds, and they're supposed to be torqued in a specific sequence. This corner is number 1, then this is number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now on an oil pan replacement, they want you to lay a thin bead of gasket sealer on the pan, so I've done that. Then just lay the new gasket on there and press it down a little bit all around so that it sticks, and then let it sit for a few minutes to let the gasket sealer stuff get a little tacky so that the gasket stays in place on the pan as you reinstall it in the bike. So just need to make sure the gasket sealing surface on the bottom of the engine is all cleaned up, and then put the pan in, torque it to the spec in the sequence that I described, and button everything up, and that'll be that. That's it then. Cool orange. If you want to see more random garage things, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you get a random notification when a new random garage video is posted. If you're in the Sturgis area and you need any work done, come see me at Exit 32 Fit Shop. Links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and remember, whatever you do, make sure you're always doing something.